Good day to you and everyone watching this video. My name is Praise and you are watching Pintech Invention. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to find out what is faulty in a rechargeable light, or how to trace the faulty component in a rechargeable light. But before we get started, please, if you've not done so, do well to subscribe to my channel and also like, share and comment on this video. So let's get started. Let's go into Pintech. So there we go. Before repairing any rechargeable light, we first have to find out where the screws are. Like in this torchlight, it has its screws at these 2 points. So we'll try to find out where the screws are to avoid damaging the torchlight and to make it easier for us to open any torchlight or rechargeable light. So I will open up this torchlight by loosening the screws. Then there's usually a plastic at the front of most torchlights, so we'll do well to take that off, and also a glass. So we can now open a torchlight. Now when we open any torchlight, what we usually find is the charging pin, the battery, the panel and the bulb. These are the 4 components that we find inside a torchlight. So what is the first step to repairing any torchlight? There are 3 steps we take. But the first is the battery. The battery is the powerhouse of any rechargeable light. So we want to check if the battery is still functioning. And how do we do that? We tie one of the edges, the negative edge, in the negative part of the battery. So you can see. We also tie the positive terminal in the positive point in the battery. So we can see the 2 wires. Now, we have to use a tape, a black tape, to tape this wire at the edge of the inner part of this torchlight. Take note, we have to tape this wire like this. We should not allow the edge of the wire to exceed this plastic here in order for us to run this test. So I'll just take up my tape, then I'll tape the wire. You can see how I taped this first wire here. You can see the naked part is not exceeding the plastic. Then we can also take the other parts of the torch. We'll do the same with the other wire. So now we can see that these wires here, these edges that were taped, are actually connected to this battery. What we are trying to do is that we want to couple this torch light back and plug it in an extension or a socket. Then we place a tester at the tip of these wires to know if this torchlight is actually charging its battery. So let's package this torchlight back like this. So sometimes some rechargeable lights do have charging issues. This test that we're about to carry out will also help us to know if the rechargeable light has charging issue. And if it has charging issue, it can be a reason why the battery is not charging. So that's why this test is important. Okay, so we won't cover this plastic here. We'll leave it open like this. But if we observe, this part is a kind of exposed. So we'll use a tape to cover it up. We have to ensure that it's properly covered. So after running this test, if we find out that this torchlight is actually charging its battery, but the battery is not functioning, then it shows that the battery is no longer alive. So I'll have to place my tester at the tip of those wires inside the torchlight. And if you can observe carefully, if you look at the tester, you see an indicator showing that this rechargeable light is giving out current through this terminal. Now let's test the other wire. We can see it is indicating at the center of the tester. If you look at the tester carefully. So according to our test now, this rechargeable light is giving out current. It's actually charging its battery, but the battery is no longer functioning, so it is not storing any charge. So we open our torchlight once more. Then we are done with battery test. Now we are going to go into the second step. Before we go into the second step, we need to power this torchlight. So we can do that using any other battery. Now, the reason why I would not disconnect this battery completely is that I might still choose to refill this battery with acid and it will start working again. But it's advisable to replace it. But for now, let's not take it off. Let's connect another battery to it. Let's add another battery that is still working. Now this battery is not as big as the one in there. This is a 300 milliampere battery and this one is a 600 milliampere battery, but they are all 4 volts, so we can temporarily substitute any one for any test. So I'll connect this 300 milliampere battery temporarily to power this torchlight. And the reason why I'm powering this torchlight is for me to check for other possible faults that might not exceed battery faults. But trust me, most rechargeable lights will just stop at battery problem. Once you change the battery, it will start working. So I'm just assuming that you are repairing a rechargeable light and the battery and the problem exceeds the battery issue. Now I've connected a legit battery to this torchlight. Now this torchlight is assumed to have a legit battery. Now what else do I check in this torchlight? That will bring us to the next step, step 2. After battery issue has been sorted out, what is the next step? The next step is to check the bulb. Why would this battery be giving out, or why would we not have a battery issue and the bulb will refuse to work? Let's check the bulb if it is working. If it is working, that means we are done. We don't need any other repair. But as we can see here, I'm on this torchlight and the bulb is not shining. So it shows that this battery does not only have battery issue. This torchlight does not only have battery issue, it also have bulb issue. Now, how do we deal with that? We also use the same bulb we used to test the battery. We also use it to test this bulb. Now, keep the torchlight on. Keep it on, so that there will be current that is being supplied to this bulb. So as you can see, this bulb is trying to show us that this one is faulty. So if you have issues with battery, I have a video that covers how to repair or replace any rechargeable battery. And if your torchlight is having bulb issue too, I also have a video of how to repair bulb. So do well to watch that video. And also, if the problem exceeds battery and bulb issue, and it now extend to the panel, because that's the only issue that can come up after battery and bulb issue, then you should also watch my video of how to repair the panel of a battery. So these are the 3 steps you take when you want to repair any rechargeable light. So in my next video, I'm going to be showing you how to repair the charging pin of a torchlight. This charging pin, sometimes it gets broken. So how do you fix it? So now we can use a replacement bulb to substitute for this bulb right here. Like I said earlier, I have a video that covers that. Now, if the problem now exceeds battery and bulb issue, that means the bulb here is actually working, and the battery here is actually supplying current, but the current is not getting to the bulb. How do we deal with that? That means something in this panel is not allowing current flow. Something is faulty in this panel. So how do we deal with panel issue? Well, you have to trust me. You hardly have situations whereby the battery is working and the panel has issues with supplying current to the bulb. Panel issues are always obvious. You always see the pop-up in the panel. You always see the damage in the panel. You hardly have issues with torchlight panel, because the torchlight panels nowadays, they have modern components. So this is how much you find in a torchlight. Then if you have a lamp like this one, you can also repair it using the same step. Any rechargeable light, you can deal with any rechargeable light through this step. But the only difference with big lamps like this is that sometimes the transistor in it might not allow current to flow. The transistor is in the panel, just like this searchlight. This searchlight does not have transistor, but in a big lamp, you always find transistor in the panel. So your battery might be giving out current, might be working fine, your bulb might be working fine, but the electricity is not getting to the bulb. Sometimes the switch also might be working perfectly, but it might just be the issue of transistor. So how do you deal with that? I also have videos of how to repair torchlight panel. Please do well to watch that video. It covers all this explanation. So this is how we come to the end of today's PinTech tutorial. See you next week. Thank you for watching that very building PinTech invention video. Please, if you've not done so, do well to subscribe to this channel. And in my next video, I'm going to be showing you how to repair the charging pin of a torchlight. See you next Friday.